Oh, great, it's a bitch.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Frankenstein's podcast, where it's all about the monster. We're a creature feature podcast about monsters and why we love them. I'm one of your hosts, Joe Praska, and with me, as always, is
your other host, Khalid Hussein.
What's up, Khalid?
What up, Joe?
Sunday fun day.
Tuesday fun day.
Oh God, it is Tuesday, isn't it?
Yeah.
How's it going? Tell us about your haircut.
Thank you for people who cannot see me, which is just about everybody listening to this. I got one of those cut all your hair moments. So it's a lot shorter than people are used to. I am also just a lot shorter now, which sucks. I am one of those people that avidly believes that if your hair is tall, then you can count those inches towards your general body height. That's a body part. So I am a short king once again, and I'm embracing it. But yeah, hair gone, no more high top.
Yeah, short hair don't care.
I still kind of care.
Yeah.
I probably care too much.
You do, yeah, obviously. I mean, you went on for a little while about it, so I feel like you care.
Thank you for indulging me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah.
Yeah. You still have all your hair, a lot of face hair too.
Yeah, it's gonna be gone soon, I think.
Yeah. What's new with you? You took a fun little trip between episodes, right? Did you?
Nope.
You came back from that trip and then we recorded another episode?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I'll take your word for it.
No, I'm good. I'm good, Khalid. You ever read the book Harold and the Purple Crayon? The kids book?
No, I'm not.
Are you aware of it?
I'm aware of the Zachary Levi movie no one watched.
That's embarrassing. It's based on a children's book where like Harold draws this like uses a little crayon to like draw like pictures of like and goes on a little adventure the whole time. So it's like an imagination book. We've been reading to
Oh,
the
it's like
kids.
Chalk Zone.
It's like Chalk Zone, yeah. So we've been reading to the
Yeah.
kids lately. It's been pretty fun. As you know, like I have an 8-year-old and a 4-year-old, and our 4-year-old is very like he's kind of like logical, sequential mindset sort of thing. So he's been like really interrogating the Purple Crayon story a lot. So that's been kind of been like a part of my day where he's like we read it last night, and throughout the day he's been asking about it, like kind of like Tom Cruise in A Few Good Men when he's asking for like I want the truth. Like he's like asking like why does the crayon do that? Like over and over again. And we're like, but I don't know. It's imagination, dude.
Yeah,
But
is magic not a satisfying answer for
no,
him?
it's not. He wants it. He's like, where did he get the crayon? Like he wants to know where it's from and how it works. And that's been kind of my day.
Wow. All right, little buddy. I respect it. You got questions, you deserve answers.
I don't have satisfying answers, so
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, that in its own way, that's a lesson for
yeah,
him.
yeah. It is actually. That's a really good point. Anyway, before we get into what we're talking about today, I did want to give a special shout out to a sort of friend of the podcast, friend acquaintance of mine here in the Twin Cities. He was actually a teacher at one of the schools that our 4-year-old went to. His name is Rafael Acevedo, and we connected again recently because he has roots in Venezuela, and he has been organizing sort of relief aids and effort for like the kind of like destruction that's really happened down there. And I know that's been kind of out of the news zeitgeist for a little while, but it's been something that he's still kind of working hard on. And so I wanted to just say that he has an organization called Amigos en el Camino, Friends on the Road, which goes basically aid just goes like collects donations that go directly to support Venezuela. So if you're interested in that, I will put a link in the show notes, and I just wanted to shout that out. That's something that's going on. So yeah.
Way to go, Raphael.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you so much for doing that. Anyway, that being said, Khalid,
Joe.
got a question for you.
Yeah, I figured you did.
So if anyone who's listening to this podcast knows the topic of the episode, given the title of it, so I'm gonna use the name of the creature in this question. The
But
Unnamable.
Joe, it's unnameable.
It's Unnamable, exactly. Khalid, what is the Unnamable creature's favorite game?
Guess who?
Mm-mm.
Um, The Unnamable Creature's favorite game?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm thinking of like Hangman. I don't know.
No.
What?
Hide and shriek.
That's that could go for like so many monsters. That's not even like at least mine were like name specific, like something that would like, like guess who? You can't guess it. It's unnameable.
Well, she shrieks a lot.
A lot of monsters shriek. It's a basement dwelling monster. That's just its like primary mode of communication.
And that's a segue, Khalid. What are we talking about today?
Thanks for asking, Joe. Today we're doing a double feature, the Unnamable and the Unnamable II, 1998 or 1988 and 1992, respectively. And they were both directed by Jean-Paul Ouellette. And I've got a not so much a synopsis as an advertisement for a college for you. Welcome to Miskatonic University, located just south of the haunted Winthrop House by the cemetery. Our students adhere to a strict dress code of denim and LL Bean sweaters. If you're horny to the point of disregarding basic survival instincts or majoring in Lovecraftian horror, then Miskatonic is the school for you.
What a monster!
They're creatures of the abstract that live off potential energy.
It's alive!
Boom. Nice. I'm sold. I'll go.
I felt like that was like the big like thing that dovetails the two movies.
Kind of a through line between the two for sure. I agree.
Yeah.
Great one.
Yeah.
Great one. Great one. Got a little background for you. You ready?
Always.
So, director, writer, and producer Jean-Paul Ouellette previously served as the second unit director for The Terminator under James Cameron before this.
No kidding.
Yeah. So, anyway, when he was making this movie, the first movie, I should say, The Unnamable One, the script was written in 7 days. They shot the whole film in 3 weeks. The second film was shot in 5 weeks. So, went pretty fast.
Honestly, that's twice as long as I thought they spent on the script. So,
All right. So this is a little bit other stuff. So the first story, the first movie, is based on the short story of the same name, The Unnamable, from H.P. Lovecraft. It was written in September of 1923 and published in a 1925 issue of Weird Tales. The actual short story follows. It's just called Carter in the story, but it's Randolph Carter, who's actually a recurring character in like a ton of Lovecraft stories at the time. And in the story, his friend Joel Manton chilling in a cemetery in the fictional town of Arkham, Massachusetts, which is a common setting in Lovecraft stories as well. But the short story is entirely just Carter telling Manton a story about an indescribable entity that haunts a nearby house. He says because the entity cannot be perceived by the five senses, that it becomes impossible to quantify and accurately describe, hence unnamable, right? Then, as he's telling the story, they suddenly get attacked by it and wake up in the hospital. And then, so the Menton character at the end says, quote, "It was everywhere, a gelatin, a slime, yet it had shapes, 1,000 shapes of horror beyond all memory. There were eyes and a blemish. It was the pit, the maelstrom, the ultimate abomination. Carter, it was the unnamable." That's the end of the short story.
you ever think that like Lovecraft just wasn't that good of a writer? So, so like he would just kind of like paper over it by just being like, "No, you don't get it, man. Like nobody could describe
Nobody
it.
could.
There's no writer could describe it." Like
he might have been just
not
like, yeah, he might have been just the first person to like kind of like cue into that idea. Like, what if I just said nobody can describe it?
yeah, because I was like, they redo that conversation at the beginning of the first Unnamable in front of the cemetery, and I was like very much on Joel's side, where he's just like, "It's a monster, so terrible, no one can name it," and then Joel's like, "Yeah, you could," and I'm like, "Yeah, why couldn't you?"
That was actually really fun.
I'm on Joel's side, and that's really hard to do with somebody as stupid as Joel. Like,
Fucking
very,
Joel, yeah.
very hard to get in that headspace of why he did it.
Yeah. So the second movie that we'll talk about, the second film is more based on a different short story called the Statement of Randolph Carter, which is the subtitle of the film itself. But the short story is the first person testimony of Randolph Carter, who is at this point in the story found wandering through a swampland in like an amnesiac shock. So he's telling a story about him and his associate Harley Warren, which I think is the character that John Rhys Davies plays. But anyway, they use a book in an unknown language to find a mysterious stairs that leads deep into the earth. Warren goes down the stairs and they communicate through a telephone wire. You can see this kind of happens in the second movie a little bit, but the communications become more and more unnerving and disjointed until eventually, after a long silence, when Carter's trying to reach Warren, an alien sort of like weird voice comes on and says that Warren is dead, and that's kind of the end of the story. So that's what the original short story of that is, that kind of like influenced this larger second film. And actually, if you want, if anyone listening is interested, like both short stories are pretty much free to read online. So I do have the links in the show notes if you wanted to just check them out. They're real short. They're real like brief short stories, but yeah, they're kind of fun to check out. So anyway, let's start with the first film and then kind of get into the second one after that. But let's talk about the first one. Khalid, give me some thoughts on the Unnamable one.
Um, I got a lot of like Evil Dead vibes from it. I want to give credit to the director and like the production team behind it. A lot of it felt cheesy, but like also like really funny in an intentional way. Like, and I don't think that like they were like trying to be like so serious that you're not supposed to laugh at certain points. I think that they position things in just a way that like it feels like sarcastic almost. So it felt like simultaneously just doing a proper horror film while also like lampooning it a little bit and making fun of the tropes, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'm giving them too much credit. But I think that between the two of the movies, I feel like I liked the directing on this one more. Obviously it helps that it's like a lot more like just like concise. Was very much thrown by what I can only describe as like a pivot to soft porn. About halfway into the movie.
The second one?
No, the first movie.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like a 5-minute sex break. And you're just I feel uncomfortable. I'm like, can we give them a minute? Like I I mean it's a problem I brought up before, but like I just can't empathize with any of the characters. Like how do you get there? You know, in their defense, I wouldn't go to that school. If you told me we were like just across like a cemetery's distance from a haunted house, I don't need to go to school there. I don't care how good Miss Katonic is. But yeah, like they're just, it's so funny like how all of the characters are like painted with like a really like broad brush to the point of like you're just waiting for a lot of them to die horribly. Like they feel committed to dying horribly. And so it's a fascinating watch in that regard. I kind of touched on it, but my favorite thing was probably the wardrobe. Just I maybe people dressed like that back then, but like it feels like country club like teen in a weird way.
Yeah.
And it feels like somebody who like never went to college just like taking a guess at like what people in college would have dressed.
It's like the kind of like asshole guys in Caddyshack.
Yeah, if all it's based. That's what I was thinking when I was watching it. I was like, this feels like if every '80s bully went to the same college.
Yeah,
like,
and they're with the sweater that's like tied around the neck. Yeah,
and they're all just like horny and mean to each other.
Yeah,
like,
mean and rich. Yeah,
super mean, implied richness for sure. And then what's the main guy? Randolph
Carter. Yep.
Yeah. I didn't really get his whole deal in the first movie. Like he felt like we should like, especially since he's the one telling the story at the beginning, it feels like he should be a bigger character, but he's also just like away from a lot of the action for the movie. So I was surprised when we get to the sequel, which I'm assuming we're going to get into, but I was surprised like how much of the forefront he takes at that point. Like it kind of feels like Howard is like the main character more than anybody, if there is a main character.
Howard. Yeah. His friend Howard. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. But scattered thoughts notwithstanding, the wardrobe was probably my favorite part. The music was nuts. Like it felt like a bad Danny Elfman impression.
Like a comedy almost.
Yeah, like just a lot of like funky horn and pianos just going
Yeah.
off at times, and I'm just like, I don't know what you want me to feel right now. What about you, Joe? What did you think?
Thanks for asking, Khalid. So just this is the kind of movie that I imagine that maybe listeners may have not seen. Like there's some that we do where I'm like, everyone's seeing this movie or people are seeing this movie, but this is one that I maybe imagine that some people are coming in and haven't seen this. So just for like a little background for people who haven't seen this, like the story of the movie is that there's a house that's supposedly haunted with some sort of unnamable creature. And then we're at Miskatonic University, which is a famous university in the Lovecraft mythos. And two rich guys basically dare two like women to come into there with them and spend the night. And it's basically their attempt to essentially get laid, right?
Yeah, which nuts right there.
Yeah.
Like you want to invite two girls to an abandoned, dilapidated house at best.
hmm
At worst, as haunted as you think it is.
Yeah.
And it's like that's where you want to convince them to have sex. Like
Yeah. That's the whole
this
thing. It's the whole thing.
yeah.
And then
Yeah.
and then parallel to that, we have the Randolph Carter character and Howard, who are Randolph Carter is like a major in, like you said, just I don't know, Lovecraftian horrors, I think. Like
Folklore.
literature, folklore.
They say he's a folklore.
He's a folklore major. That's right. He's a folklore major. And
Good luck, buddy.
He tells a story. And one of their buddies goes in the house prior to all this and dies. So they're like worried about that. So that's how their story kind of intersects. But they're out of the picture for a while until they come in. And Carter is the one who kind of figures out what's going on by finding the Necronomicon, which is, again, another famous text in the Lovecraft mythos that kind of like unlocks a lot of stuff, right? So anyway, that all being said, I liked it. It's very silly, like you said. I think that I don't know if it's meant to be as humorous as it is. I feel like the second one is certainly meant to be as funny as it is. Like I think that they might have realized it after the fact, like, okay, that's what we need to double down on, you know? But yeah, it's scrappy in a way that I do appreciate. Like the first scene where they're in the graveyard, right? The guys are in the graveyard and Carter's telling the story. Like the exposition is so funny to me. Like they're just like casually throwing like, hey, you, my friend, who was a science major, like just explaining your major in casual conversation. Like
They say each other's names
Yeah.
so many times, but it's confusing because they only
Yeah.
use last names at times. Like I
Mhm.
thought the guy's name was just Carter for
Yeah.
like, because I didn't know there was a first name that I should also be picking up on. It was weirdly digging into just calling him Carter.
Yeah, exactly. So that was fun. That was funny. But ultimately, when we get to the house itself, I really like the house, the setting. And I think like you were trying to say, like, let's give the director some credit. Like, I think that the way that it was lit was really interesting. Like, it didn't feel like if you go into a haunted, like a dark house, it's going to be really dark. But it's like you got like parts where like blue is glowing in, parts where like it's kind of orangish red, like teals, like it's all these different colors that are glowing through different orifices of the house. And I think that's really fun and interesting. Like it doesn't feel like quote unquote realistic, but I'm like, I don't need it to, you know? I think that's
I
just
learned a thing or two on that Terminator set.
exactly. I think that was really fun and really cool. The banshee wheel of the creature was cool. The fucking frat guys, they blowed. Like I don't know,
They blowed.
they blew. They sucked. But like those
No,
guys,
but that's what I mean. Like those guys,
they were like,
it
I was just
feels
waiting
like
for them to die, right?
you have to kind of know what you're doing with those guys because
Yeah.
it feels like a straight up like scary movie type joke, like the
I
scary
know.
movie, like the movies. Not
Yeah.
a
Oh yeah.
genre.
Oh yeah.
Like the fact that like they are so committed to like scaring the fuck out of each other, like over and over again, like
hmm
way beyond any reasonable person would even bother to
No,
do.
they're the
Like,
worst.
it's-
Yeah.
Hey, what if we split up and jump out at them? Like when he
Yeah.
whispers that in her ear, and then the couple ahead of them does that.
hmm
So funny.
It's so ridiculous. I did love, like you were saying, the wardrobes. I did love the one guy with the Miskatonic U t-shirt or sweatshirt over
Yeah.
the collar. Like that does feel like a really cool, like if you're into this kind of like mythology, like that's a cool prop.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I would definitely wear a Miskatonic U
Yeah,
shirt.
that-
That's pretty legit.
That ruled.
Yeah.
But the other thing, so like the thing is, the hard thing about this movie is I appreciate so much of it. I think it's shot really well, and I think it's really competently is a stretch. I think it's really interestingly directed. But I think that the best part of it really is the Randolph Carter Howard dynamic. I think that we see that comes in like only around a lot of the big chunk of the movie. Like Randolph Carter, he's got this like aloof attitude that's almost like akin to, and then Howard's is kind of like almost a little more manic. It's like it's kind of a Holmes Watson dynamic, you know? And and I kind of like that. Like I thought that was really fun and interesting. Like when they're it's like discount Holmes Watson, you know, like they're going in there and they're trying to like solve the mystery and stuff. And like I think that's and like Carter's like down there reading a book and like Howard's up there trying to like solve all the problems really. Like it's kind
I
of
did
it's fun.
I found that kind of cool. Like they
Yeah.
took the like library scene that we always call out in movies when it's like, oh yeah, they're gonna learn about everything in the library, and they just set it in the haunted house. Like he's just gonna take his time and he's gonna learn what he can.
Yeah.
Which I thought was fun. Although is he like a polyglot or something? Because like there's like so many different like things going on in the Necronomicon. Like how do you just at first glance like you wield it?
I don't know. I mean, we learned in the second one that it's written in mostly Arabic and Greek, right?
Which that was nuts to me when the opening credits start and it's
Yeah.
just like a bunch of like Arabic words, and then you realize that the Necronomicon is supposed to be read that way too, like
Yeah.
in the traditional left to right,
Yeah.
or I don't know, right to left. So it's like, yeah, but I
The
was like,
pages
what
were
the-
flipping that way. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
what the hell?
That's kind of a cool touch.
I don't know if Arabs want any part of that.
That's right. Yeah, the one Arab who wrote it in the mythology did, but that's it.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
I also loved one of my favorite moments was the entrance where we first really see the creature when she
Yeah.
bursts through the window. So like another piece that we need to kind of explain for listeners is that there's this little plot point about the idea that the creature has been staring out the window for so long that her reflection is like stuck in the window in the glass essentially, right? Remember that?
Kind of doesn't come up.
It doesn't. Well, anyway, it comes up a little bit because like the girl Tanya is looking out the window. She's like, "Oh my God, it's there!" And Howard basically tries to just like mansplain what a reflection is for like
Yeah, you
a minute.
just heard about it. That
Yeah.
part was nuts.
And he tries to explain it, and then he looks out, and then it's actually the monster, which was amazing. Like that's just
My
like,
thing is, the explanation is less reassuring than what I thought was going on.
yeah. Oh, totally. Oh, totally. And then she just jumps in.
Oh, it's not something to be scared of. It's a different thing to be terrified of, where it's the spirit of the monster trapped in a reflection. Whatever. Why are you not like that's why are you saying that? Like we could just we're all good now. That's crazy. That's a
Yeah.
crazy way to like to try and explain that to somebody who's in terror, who's in fright.
Oh, totally. And that's honestly like a big piece of why I kind of love the part when Carter and Howard show up. I feel like that's when the movie's firing on all cylinders, right? Like that's when it's fun. That's when like those frat guys basically have gotten murdered and they're done. And like we get the reflection stuff. We get really weird like lore and mythology, and then we get tree spirits, right? The tree spirits basically save them, which was a gonzo thing to just throw in the last act. Like, oh, you got to call them the tree spirits, and that's it. You know,
I mean,
that's
as
the Evil
we-
Dead. Yeah,
Yeah, it's very Evil Dead. I don't know. I mean, both movies have that problem of like just a lot of new stuff keeps coming in long after you think the movie is like kind of just like established itself. I don't know. It's characters, it's plot points, it's just all over the place.
they go
I will
for it.
say I love the story at the beginning, just because the guy was like very much dressed like Ebenezer Scrooge before before he's visited by ghosts.
Right? Yeah, he's like the old guy, like in like the 1700s. He's who lived in the
Old
house.
man Josh Winthrop.
Yeah, supposedly a warlock.
It's so funny. There's a guy back then named Josh. I know they kept calling him Joshua, but
Well. Josh.
what's up? I'm Josh. This is just, was this the 1700s? I'm just doing
Yeah.
Josh shit.
Yep. Yeah. Totally. Kind of felt bad for the Wendy character. The one
I
girl.
feel bad for like every woman in this movie.
Oh,
both
totally. But
movies.
her specifically, like, there was this like kind of like like piece of dialogue where it's like, well, she's actually like because she kind of she's very flirtatious and like likes to hang out with the guys. But then there's this other line of dialogue where it's like she's actually really afraid of men. Like that was kind of this reveal, and I'm like, fair. Like, I think the men in the movie, like the at least the frat guys
Yeah,
for sure, prove that they should be afraid of them. They're terrible.
They're inviting you to tour a abandoned house in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Like flags don't get redder, and I'm not doing that in like a victim blamey way of like there's nothing that you could agree to that would allow them to behave the way they did. That on that much, like I'm on the same page.
Mhm.
That being said, like they're not hiding. They're not hiding their intentions at all. Like
No.
they keep telegraphing how awful they are, and she's just like, "Oh, boys."
Yeah. The way that she got killed was pretty interesting though. It was like she got
The neck snap, yeah.
it was like, well, then she gets pulled through the wall like a hot dog almost.
Made you think of a hot dog, huh?
Kind of. It was like
Well, it's like, is it the wall or what was that thing
I don't
she
know.
got pulled through? I mean, yeah, I remember her like legs getting dragged through or whatever.
I don't know what that
But
was.
yeah, I don't know. Wendy deserved better, I
Yeah,
guess. But
totally.
she should also want better for herself. The dates in an abandoned house.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, but let's talk a little bit about the second movie, right?
Oh man, this one's crazy.
So the second one, the one thing I will say about the second one right away, and I'll tell the plot in a second, but like sometimes horror movie sequels, especially in this era, suffer from a problem of basically just rehashing the first movie in a slightly different way, you know?
Yeah.
But this one expertly avoids that. It goes in very different directions. It goes bigger in a lot of ways, even when it probably can't, like budgetarily. Like it tries to do a lot of weird stuff. And I just have to give a lot of respect for like, let's just take this concept and go and like go very strange with it, right? I appreciate a lot of that. So essentially the plot of the second one, it picks up directly, like immediately after the first, where like the police are like collecting the bodies from the house, and the main characters are kind of like regrouping and going home. Essentially what we find out is that the creature is still underground, in the roots, and Carter and a professor go down, separate the creature from the actual Elida, the daughter of Josh's daughter. And there's a girl and there's a monster, and the monster is now released, and they're trying to protect the girl from the monster. They go back to the university, and they're basically stalked by the monster throughout the film as they try to like find a way to, I don't know, dispose of it essentially. So yeah, they're stocked. Instead of a haunted house, this is just like the university set, which is kind of like a building and a hallway. But they work to make it feel bigger. So I did like that it kind of picks up immediately after the first, even though I know it's like I think like 4 years between the two that they were filmed. So Alexandra Durell, who played Tanya in the first one, the girl that survives, she's kind of like Swiss, I think she said she was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so she actually did reprise her role in that brief moment. It's an uncredited cameo because she just gets put into the car and they say she goes to the hospital. But she actually served as co-producer for the film. So I think that it sounds like the actor was sort of pivoting to not wanting to be on screen as much. So she was like, I'll do this quick thing and then I'll produce and then just do different stuff. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
I'm glad at least one person from the first movie, character wise, is allowed to just kind of stay out of it.
I don't know. I thought that was kind of nice. I thought that Howard was going to kind of stay out of it, but they brought him in later. So let's just get some thoughts. What do you think of this one?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not a retread of the first
No.
one. I will say you say it was expertly avoiding that. I'll say it was belligerently
That's probably a
avoiding
better word.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I obviously Carter is very squarely like the protagonist. That's the guy we're following for this one, which was like it just it stuck out a lot compared to the first movie. It like made like my experience watching this a lot more different. Although because I watched them back to back, it almost felt like I was watching like a mini series or
Mm.
something. You know what I mean? About like this like thing that like goes over like two seasons versus like watching two separate movies. But yeah, I mean, I think that this one gets kind of a little too just to call it back to your kid about like asking the whys of a lot of things to the point of like you just kind of get exasperated. This movie really falls into that trap, especially in the first act with that professor that gets looped into this, and like suddenly it's him and Carter just like cave diving, and like the thing with the insulin, we got to talk about that. That
Okay.
shit is so nuts. So in the movie, they realize that the monster from the first movie, which was Elida, Josh Winthrop's daughter, is actually possessing a human. It's not a monster in and of itself. It's a monster possessing a human. And with like what maybe like three exchanges tops, they decide and agree that the insulin that he already brought, if you just stab someone with enough of it, the monster will be like, "Ew, gross," and leave. So they perform what I'm 99% sure is the first ever on film exorcism by insulin. Like,
Maybe
that's the
first and
only.
only.
I can't imagine anybody else wanted to try and even step into that arena. That's so crazy to me. Like, that's like it gets too bogged down and like smugly trying to like give like a scientific explanation to stuff. We'll get into all the other stuff that they do too with Barger and that's quantum physics and hieroglyphs.
Yeah.
Anyone could see that. Fuck you, Barger.
Oh, Barger.
That's such bullshit. When he said that was quantum physics, I was like,
It's a
okay,
theory.
what's that kind of movie? And I think it's like the only thing I can really like. The more I think about it, I feel like a good comp for this would be Happy Death Day to You. Have you seen the sequel to Happy Death Day?
No, actually.
So you've seen Happy Death Day?
I'm aware of it, yeah.
Without spoiling too much in the second one, it basically just turns into like a sci-fi like romp that's basically she she was having fucking Groundhog Day reoccurring murders because across from like campus, the Asian roommate was like working on like a machine that was like messing with quantum realities. And so the second one is all about like multiversal like shenanigans and stuff.
Okay.
It's very zany. They do it better than this movie, but I think both kind of suffer from like just like the weight of like trying to expand lore in a way that I guess like roots it in the academic setting that they're in.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, the first, like, I would say the first act and a half really slowed down by that. And like, I just kept shrugging because I was like, yeah, whatever. You're right. This isn't the kind of movie where like, maybe you're just not that smart. You're exactly as smart as the situation calls for. You're polyglots that can speak every language needed to solve the problem.
Yeah.
And then it pivots into like that Fifth Element type like thing where they exercise the demon and they've just got they've got that girl naked for like 30 minutes of the
Yeah, it's a
runtime.
long time.
I give her one of your sport coats. Like, what the fuck?
Well,
Like,
I feel like it's almost like a problem with the script though, because like they almost like they try to have their cake and eat it too a little bit. Where like Howard keeps trying to give her a jacket, but she's like, I don't want to, like pushes it off, you know, like she doesn't feel. And then they say like, oh, she doesn't know how to wear clothes because she's never worn them because she's been a monster her whole life, and she doesn't want to. So it's like they kind of like right away in this, they write the script in a way that makes her stay naked longer than she should.
it feels so much like, oh yeah, only dudes were like at the top
Yeah.
of this thing.
Oh, totally. That's
And
absolutely it. But then they also do it in a way, and I'll get into this a little bit, but the second one more than the first one feels like it to me felt like a little bit more like it was shot like a made for TV movie.
yeah,
And
that's what I mean. The first one feels better
it
directed.
does, even though it's the same team. But like
Yeah.
I do feel like they also put in a lot of effort to make it seem like while she's naked, like they're not showing a whole lot at different times. Like her hair is so long and covering her in a lot of different places.
Oh,
Like
you're seeing a lot of side boob.
you do see a lot of side boob and you see butt a lot too. But like
Yeah, a lot of butt.
I do feel like they like it's covered her, she's covered a lot in certain scenes. And then I do feel like this one's less gory overall too.
It's
Until
super. That's the
yeah.
other thing. The action is way worse in this
Yeah.
one. Like
Yeah.
the monster is doing the same move over and over again.
Right.
It's just scratch a neck, you're down. Scratch
Yep.
a neck, you're
Scratch the
down.
neck, yeah.
In the first one, it was inventive. It was
Mhm.
gory and gross, but it's like what the monster did to Joel was different than what the monster did to the jocks, which is different from what it did to
Wendy.
Wanda
Yeah.
or Wendy. So with this, it just feels like, wow, you guys spent like a lot of shoot days just like letting like Barger make up quantum physics and not enough days like choreographing a sick fight. The closest
Yeah.
thing to a sick like action scene they have is when the officer Denise
I did write down we got to talk about after Officer Denise.
What a wild character! I'll tell you right now though, that's how you know it's good writing. Because by the end of her screen time, I was like, I'll tell you who she would have voted for.
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure.
I got
He was a
no
character.
doubt.
Yeah. A very, very much a character.
Like if that's not prototype MAGA, it's just
Yeah.
like
Oh my
it's like
gosh.
this like good crazy chick, and the last thing she says is she sees the monster and she's like, "Oh, great, it's a bitch." What are your priorities right now?
Right before dying.
But that's the other problem of it is like the cops. It's just so repetitive. Like she's like the fifth cop to get brutally murdered by this thing, and definitely knows they're after something like dangerous. And it's
Hmm.
just like it feels like the movie is not even in any way concerned with like. Whereas the first one, it's like a bunch of unarmed teens and stuff like
Yeah.
that, and they're at the mercy of like this monster that they can't really like comprehend. This one is like so much more of like an open air setting of like you have time to like come up with a game plan. It shouldn't just be you keep coming across your dead comrades on the ground and then walk towards where you think the thing went. Like
Yeah.
do something else, anything else. But yeah, I
I
mean,
distracted you. We got off a tangent. I distracted you from explaining about how basically it turns into the fifth element, which is interesting. It's the born sexy yesterday trope, right?
yes.
It feels, I was thinking the same thing. It feels like very like fifth element coded there. Yeah.
And that's the thing, like the whole Elida Carter dynamic, it feels really gross.
Hmm.
Like they keep her naked like way longer than reasonable. Obviously, they try to make it in story that she hates clothes. I to the
Yeah.
point where like another girl is fighting her to clothe her finally.
Yeah.
Um, and on top of that, she's just locked it in her head. The first guy she met is just a perfect genius, and she's in love with him, and he's just like the whole time,
Hmm.
like talking down to her like a child or a dog at times, like literally telling her to like sit and stay.
Yeah.
Like it is a very uncomfortable dynamic, and I don't like I feel like they think it endears us to Carter, and it just makes me hate him so much. I'm just
Yeah.
like this brother, you didn't even know about magic until like literally yesterday, canonically. Like you didn't know any of this stuff like existed until the last movie, which was a day ago for you.
Mhm.
Like you are talking down to everybody, including this girl, like in a way that would imply that you have been doing this shit for years.
Yeah. So okay, so here's some thoughts that I had. I feel a lot of the same way as you. I think that I actually thought the cave scenes were probably my favorite parts, like prior to when they started going to the university and getting like wild like that. That was so the professor was John Rhys Davies, right?
Yeah.
He actor who goes on the Lord of the Rings, plays Gimli, there's a bunch of stuff, like pretty great character actor. I thought he was a really fun element to it. We also had David Warner as in a small cameo as like the dean. So like you brought some actors who had some pedigree that were kind of fun to see as like kind of cameo elements. John Rhys Davies was very funny. He's the one who came up with the insulin plan. He also like when he dies, and he like basically gets the insulin ready to stab whatever's coming for him. Like that's just like his weapon of choice is insulin always. That
Yeah,
was
and he's just
hilarious.
got gallons of it with him.
He's got a
Like
lot. Yeah,
it's
he just had a bunch
crazy.
more.
Did you bring like trail mix? There's just insulin in your bag.
It's just insulin. But yeah, it's very evident that him and David Warner spent not a whole lot of time on this movie, but nice of them to be part of it, of course, I'm sure. I did appreciate, like you're kind of saying, like there's just a bunch of stuff that they're just saying in the caves, like all of it's like, sure, yeah, fine, that's right. It's kind of fun though, for somebody like I've read some of Lovecraft's books and kind of like know about the mythology. Like a bunch of it is references, you know.
Yeah.
So like it's like the cops say, oh, it's the Dunwich incident. That's a reference to a story like Ryleth, the language of Cthulhu, like outer beings, outer gods. All of that's like other short stories in the Lovecraft mythology. So like a lot of that's kind of fun just to kind of hear thrown into like just kind of imagine like we're at Miskatonic U, which is like the setting for like a lot of his short stories. Like all this weird shit's just going on, you know. And so
Well,
I
it's
kind of I
Sunnydale
think it's
before
fun.
Sunnydale,
It
which is
really
like
is, yeah.
I 100%. That was the one thing I said the second movie had going for it. It was like
Hmm.
really felt like early Buffy.
Yeah, actually, that's a really good point. Yeah, it feels
Yeah.
like it's kind of trying to be that, where it's like just weird stuff's going to go on, and how are we going to solve the weird stuff?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like my other thing I wrote in my notes is just that like I feel like it did feel like a made-for-TV movie. Like I feel like the directing was kind of, it felt like they were more on a time constraint. I don't know why, but like they didn't have time for like extra takes or something, or being more creative with some things. But
Okay, but it's
yeah,
so funny that the solve at the end is to exercise the spirit and then put it in a chair.
put in a chair. That was really funny. Yeah,
That's
it's
what
like,
I mean. It's just like whatever. Yeah, fuck
well,
it, man.
sure,
Whatever.
why not? Like so essentially what's happening is the monster and Elida the girl are, the monster's trying to rejoin with Elida, and as this like lightning show of effects is happening, Carter jumps in, pushes Elida out of the little like thing, and replaces her with a chair. And so the monster just becomes a chair, which he burns later.
He just not just a
Yeah.
chair with titties, dude.
Oh, that's right.
I,
My God.
I busted out laughing when he's just like ruefully staring. He's like, that chair with titties killed my girlfriend.
Oh my God.
Both movies just feel like they end too. Not
Yeah.
necessarily like, "Oh, this is a good ending place," but just like,
It's
yeah,
just done.
I guess we're done.
Well, the first one, like essentially, like we don't know if we didn't watch the sequel, we don't know why Carter was underground in the first movie. He just like comes out of with a skeleton and grabs Howard, and they just like pull him out. And he's like, "Huh, well, that was hell," and then they just walk away,
Yeah,
like with a quip.
I did not again, that's why it was like so surprising that he's the lead of the second one. I was like, you feel like the friend, the sidekick that's like just do like off on some weird adventure that they had to cut for time or something. And it's
Yeah.
like Howard very much makes way more sense as like the lead of these movies, I feel
Yeah,
like.
Howard is kind of like the audience stand-in a little bit. Like I liked the Carter character a lot in the first one quite. I think he was funny. I think like making him the lead was not the wisest choice. I don't think that necessarily has anything to do with the actor. I think he's doing what he can. He kind of gives me like Sheldon Cooper vibes, from Big Bang
I
Theory.
could see that. He's
Yeah,
also
like
just he was already a little too old to be a college student in the first movie. So he looks like he looks like 35 in the second
yeah.
one, and he's supposed to still be like a sophomore or something.
What's up with his dorm room? It's like he's got a fireplace in his dorm.
I don't yeah, man, that's the problem with the movie.
That's it.
College students don't live like this.
Okay, there's a couple other questions I had though. Like
Yeah.
Josh Winthrop shows up as a ghost to Howard in the
Yeah, he does.
and he never comes back. He's like, "Hi,
Oh, fuck, my daughter. You gotta kill her, dude.
you
I
gotta
fucked
stop
up.
it." And then he just what?
They should have kept him in his sleeping cow with the
Oh,
honk
I
shoe cap.
know, I
You
know.
know, like that's a dude that sleeps like honk shoe.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Uh, oh, I
uh,
also loved so like we talked about the deaths kind of being mundane. The one cool death scene was Professor Mendez when he like opens the door and he's like, "Oh, what's going on?" And then just stabs right through his chest, the arm.
I
That was
was
cool.
so confused because I thought Professor Mendez was who like Barger was going to get.
It was another professor. There was like two of them.
There's like two professors, and then the
Yeah.
second professor is just like really, really wants you to know that it's impossible to impale a human like that and then somehow pull out whatever impaled them. I was
Yes.
like, clearly not, dude. Like, what
Yeah.
are we talking about here?
That's what you were talking about, where they're really, really trying hard to be like, "Hey, we read a little bit about science for this one, guys."
I was like, first of all, like you probably could. I don't know if it's strong enough to impale you, why wouldn't it be strong enough to come out? Like, what is the rationale here?
I don't know. I feel like the point was trying to be like, this is stronger than a human or something. I guess I don't know.
It was so, and he's just like he's more shook by that than
Yeah.
just like the gruesome murder scene.
I mean,
Like, I think
yeah.
there's like two dead people there, I think at least. So like that's nuts.
Yeah. Compartmentalizing.
Yeah, oh, I guess so, man. And yeah, but bringing it back to what you were saying about the ghost of
Yeah.
Josh appearing.
Josh.
Freaking Josh. It is crazy like how they like immediately drop the whole Howard has a dream connection to the monster thing.
Oh
Like
yeah, yeah.
it's
I did forget about that.
it's kind of only there as like letting you know that like the spirit is out and about, I guess, but it doesn't there's no rhyme or reason to when it stops or why
Hmm.
it started, it feels like. And
Right.
he's just not traumatized after a certain point. He's just very much like plot focused and mission forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, this movie is just like it's so much more scattered in a way that like makes me retroactively like the first one even more for like it's at least concise.
Yeah.
Horny teens, haunted house, go.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the second one it's like yeah, I think the second one's a mess. I feel like it's a mess.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's an interesting mess, but I don't think it works entirely, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
100% agree.
Yeah, but the first one at least like it has a through line. It makes sense and I do think like the amount of time like I don't know. Like I go back and forth because I feel like Carter and Howard were the highlights of the first movie. I think they were funny and their dynamic was fun. And I'm like, oh, maybe they should have been more of it. But then now I see like in the second one, it's like more Carter. It's like maybe that wasn't a good thing. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it was the right amount of Carter and Howard, where I'm just wanting a little bit more in the first one. That was perfect, you know?
I don't think that like yeah, I think there is still like depths to be plumbed for those
Yeah.
characters, but I think while I usually like the convention of this thing happens a day after the last movie, and so like there's like just real good chronology in that. Like
Hmm.
while that I usually like that convention, I think it might have hurt this movie more than it helped. Where like if you had just given them a little bit of like time away from it, and then you were able to kind of like reestablish these characters within a new context,
Mm,
as opposed to having them have to be the exact same characters we just saw in a better movie.
yeah.
You
Yeah, that
know,
makes sense. Yeah.
I think that kind of hamstrung that a little bit.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. So which one do you like better then? I think I know the answer.
uh, it's tough when like because like I think one of them's a better movie, but does that necessarily mean I like it
Oh,
more?
yeah, good point. Yeah.
I'll be honest, I could rewatch two more often than I could one.
Really? Huh. Why?
Yeah, I think there's enough like goofy shit going on that
Yeah.
would make it a more fun like rewatch. Like if you told me like, oh yeah, the Unnamable II is gonna be playing at the New Beverly, and I mean, yeah, man, that's a good use of $10. I'll go check that out. That sounds funny.
Yeah.
Whereas like the first one, I think that also would be fun to watch in a big
I
screen
think so. Yeah.
environment and stuff too, but it's a little bit more boilerplate,
Yeah.
and I've seen better versions of what it's going for.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. I think the first one, yeah, it's doing the tough thing is like Lovecraft as his concept of his old cosmic horror, like the idea of like sort of the concept of something that's unnameable. They sort of throw that out the window so fast when they like literally give her a name, you know,
Yeah.
like they have her name and she becomes kind of just like a demon. There's hints at like the greater like cosmic horror of it all, like elder gods and stuff, but like they kind of I don't know what the right phrasing is here, but they kind of like bring it down to a level where it's a lot less scary and all like enveloping as something that would just like weigh you down in its terror. Like that's not evident here. Um, but the first one, yeah, so the first one is kind of just a standard haunted house sort of story. But I do appreciate like there is like this element of like it's different than just a ghost. They do have hints at this greater mythology, and I think that's pretty cool. But I'm kind of with you. I do think like the second one is campy and silly. Like the first act, I still think the first act in the cave is really funny. I really enjoy. I was on board. I actually
Oh,
feel
I thought it
like
was
yeah,
hilarious.
it's so funny.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that once I do feel like once it's shifted to the fifth element a little bit, the middle drags for me quite a bit. Where I'm like, I was kind of like, when are we getting her clothes? Like that bit is worn off real fast. You know, like
She's
that's
gotta be cold.
like I know they're playing it for like it's kind of a bit, it's a joke in the movie, but I'm just like, okay, I'm done. I was done with it like real fast, you know. But and then like I don't know, it kind of comes back together in the last act, especially with the Debbie stuff. That was so funny.
Yeah. Oh my God,
She was
Debbie.
so aggressive.
She wasn't like she was just pissed
She
the
was,
whole time. Like she's I gotta deal with this shit. Like
yeah,
very much like my shift ends in 2 hours energy.
right. I gotta get this
And
done.
Not
Yeah.
on the same way. Like even their boss is has to be like, God damn, Debbie, like
He was, yeah, literally.
lock in. What the hell?
He's like, I need you to calm down. Yeah, that was a
Um,
wild like part.
those cops are the most red shirty cops I've ever seen in a horror
Oh, for
film.
sure. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Do you have any other thoughts about the movies before we get into the monster stuff?
Uh, no, I think I've exhausted all the thoughts I have on the Unnamables.
Do you have some unnameable thoughts?
If I did, I couldn't name them.
Fair. Shall we monster?
Let's do it.
All right. So as we've been talking about, the monster in question here in the first movie specifically is Elida Winthrop, the demonic daughter of the 18th century warlock Josh Winthrop. She's a demonic beast with hooved feet, clawed hands, horns, sharp-toothed maw, and like bat wings. We'll get into some of the differences in the second movie in a little bit, but I focus on the first one here. So the first film, she's played by Catherine Alexandra, I believe it's French. She was the actress under the makeup and the prosthetics of the she-beast creature. Despite appearances, though, she is not nude on screen. She was life casted from head to toe and had a 9-hour makeup application as the rubber prosthetic pieces were glued to every part of her from the waist up. So the makeup effects guy on this is R. Christopher Biggs, who supervised the creature effects. However, he has an assistant who did a lot of the extra work, and her name is Camille Calvette. Camille actually was so Christopher Briggs was like kind of put her into this role because they wanted to make Katrine feel more comfortable when having to like apply this makeup, in like really close quarters to her body. So they were like the idea of having a woman VFX artist making the woman creature actor would be just full body makeup and cast just kind of made sense, try to do that, right? And so I actually feel like that is a really cool thing to hear that you probably wouldn't hear in a lot of 80s movies,
Yeah.
like Life Force, but like I thought that was cool to hear. The hairy legs, the hooved feet were custom made by Biggs and they're a separate piece. So Camille Calvette, this woman who helped work, she actually went on to win 2 Emmy Awards for her makeup on The Stand, the miniseries, and Star Trek Deep Space Nine. She also
Nice.
worked on Minority Report, Kill Bill, Drag Me to Hell. So she's went on to do cool stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. But the team that Biggs had to like make the VFX here was super small to the point where he actually asked his mom to come in and help. They the shop was his apartment and a 3-car garage that he talked his landlord into letting them use. Very scrappy.
Yeah.
So Katrina Alexandra, the monster, she actually did have a cameo outside of makeup. She was the librarian in the library set, which was kind of fun. And she said that she kind of did help make the screams, which were mixed in with animal sounds in post-production for the kind of signature wail of the creature. So
It's a
yeah,
pretty shrill wail.
it was good. I thought that was really good. I think
Yeah.
that she did a really good job as the creature. I think the creature, if we're talking about the movie being boilerplate, like easily what elevates the movie. I think she's interesting and looks really cool.
Yeah, and they do the Jaws thing of like they don't really do the full reveal until like deep into the third act. So it's
Exactly.
like you're getting like shots of like the hooves or the
Mhm.
claws, and then when you get the full reveal, it works well. Like the effects are done very seamlessly.
Yeah, and I think that's actually a little bit about we're talking about how it feels like the first one's directed a little better. Like some of the kills like had to be more creative because they really had to focus on like small parts of her. Like the one frat guy who basically she just like knocks out and then like bangs his head repeatedly on the floor until he's just bloody. Like
Yeah,
that was simple but so gnarly.
yeah,
Very
yeah,
creative use of like a small space.
dude. Yeah, that first movie, the kills are the highlight for sure.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, she was great.
Yeah,
So the second movie, let's get in the second here. The second movie, the creature acting was actually taken over by a different actress, Julie Strain. So she was an actor who's in a ton of stuff, but she was also a Penthouse model. She was 6'1", a bodybuilder physique, which is one of the reasons that they were drawn to her for the role. She said that she took the role to do something more challenging than, and this is her quote, than quote, just being the girl with the big tits who walks through a party scene. So she wanted to do something more unique and more different and kind of really like flex a different kind of muscle. So she was really excited about it. I did find this really interesting video, which I will link in the show notes, that was like a behind the scene like production featurette for the second one specifically. And the director talks about how Katrine Alexandra from the first one was actually busy working on. She's kind of working on music videos at the time, and she also had a 3-year-old, and so she wasn't able to commit. However, she did actually appear uncredited as the creature in the Roots in the beginning before
Oh,
splitting. So they actually actively said, let's do the original makeup, the original actor for that scene, and when it's split, it's going to be a different actor, different design actually.
that was clever.
So yeah, so Christopher Biggs is back, and he does the design for the second one as well. According to the featurette, he designed the original creature to be half human in its look, but with this one, he tweaked it to kind of make the head a little bit longer, and he wanted to feel like the ears were different and the facial features were a little different. He wanted to feel more otherworldly, that the human element was not there anymore. So Strain, the actress, she wore full body latex suit, sculpted gloves and legs, stilts for the hooves, and of course the wing attachments. And she actually did the stunts for it. There's like one sequence, I think when she kills Debbie, where she flies down, right? They actually, so she was like, yeah, it was a goofy scene, but like I think in the
He
featurette,
didn't hit her once. He just
no,
kept blasting that shotgun. Nothing landed.
completely missed. They talked about how they wanted to possibly have a stunt double do that sequence for her, but she was like, "No, I want to do it myself." So she did all of her own stuff, and sounds like she had a very good time, according to the featurette, playing it. She didn't like the makeup process, but she was having a good time with it. So that's cool to hear. And then she kind of talked about how it was like a different like acting experience, specifically the final sequence between her and the other Elida, where they kind of had to be in each other's faces. They had this kind of an intimate moment for a while, which I think on screen feels very fleeting. But as she described it in the featurette, like they kind of spent a lot of time like making those scenes where they were trying to reconnect. And she said it was a really interesting moment for her as an actor who's usually typecast in a different way.
Yeah. No,
So,
I mean, going from penthouse model to monster in a movie is
mhm.
it feels like as opposite as it could.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that was cool to hear. But yeah, did you like did you like the iterations of the monster? Like, did anyone stand out more for you? I think you mentioned you liked the first one because it was kind of that Jaws effect, but did you like this sort of like second version in this one, like how it was different?
Yeah, I think I did. I think that they obviously like kind of spoiled the monster very early in the second movie.
They don't
So
hide it at all.
yeah, you spent a lot of time with them, and it takes away from the terror of the monster, but I do think the effects work is comparable to the first one, and I liked that the demon all by itself corporealized has a distinction to what Elida combined with the demon looks like. So
Yeah,
that's cool. That's cool world building that isn't just two guys like uh hypothesizing, but also telling you exactly what is right
right.
in real time. Like this is like show don't tell done right, where it's like, okay, I see with my eyes the difference between the monster in those distinctions.
Hmm.
So I think the effects work is successful in that regard.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. Yeah. Speaking of combining with demons, Khalid,
Gross.
would you fight with or would you flirt with the Elida Winthrop creature or the she demon?
Um, I think I gotta fight both of them.
Okay.
One, I can't. It would be so weird for me to just like shit on Randolph Carter for like 10 minutes about what a creep he is, and then just be like, well, I would turn on my charms. Like that. Like that's missing the point in a very bad way. But also beyond that, in the first movie, they established that the monster isn't that hard to kill. Like at one point in the third act, is it like it's not Wendy, it's the other girl, like hits the monster in the arm and her arm breaks. It was
Oh
Tanya.
yeah, 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 yeah.
And then she claws at her face and like the skin just falls off.
Hmm.
So I do feel like the Elida version of the demon is not nearly as indestructible as the other demon is. So I think that that's actually like a pretty reasonable fight. If like one, if I'm going there armed to the teeth. Like I'm never just gonna be a college kid. Like, oh yeah, let's go for a tour. And then for the second movie, also relatively easy to kill. You just need to carry a few vials of insulin, apparently. So uh, it's rarely that easy to fight. I just need to like meet a couple diabetic friends and like ask for a little bit of their reserves, and I could go to war. You know,
Yeah.
it feels like neither movie has like made the monster an impossible threat. It's just you kind of have to just be like a little, you got to think a little bit before going after them, you know, because I do think that like they've established that a Lida demon is wouldn't be bulletproof. So like nobody had guns in the first one, and then in the second one everyone had guns but no insulin. So it really
Mhm.
was just an issue of like the wrong people for the wrong mission.
There you go.
So yeah, I fight with bullets and then insulin, I guess.
I mean, insulin works, it seems like.
Yeah. What about you?
Well, Khalid, let me tell you about why you're wrong about Randolph Carter and I would flirt.
Oh, okay. Okay. Let's hear
I'm
it.
just fucking with you. I would not do that.
Oh my God.
No, no,
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. You're right.
I mean, to the character's credit, he's the only one that isn't like super like lecherous towards her.
Yeah,
Like
that's true.
he's not like very like Barger's a pervert.
Well, the other long-haired guy too, the one who dies pretty quick.
Ah man, I love that guy. He knew damn well not to get involved in all of this.
That was
And
smart, yeah.
his only mistake was not driving across state lines as soon as
Or leaving
it's
that
like
room.
that movie's so crazy. You're telling me four of your classmates just died the night before, and there are this many people gung ho about like Scooby doing up a new adventure already? Like there should be like candlelight vigils and like round the clock security at the
Yeah.
school.
Yeah, this was the
That's
next day.
yeah, insanity.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but
Long-haired guy
uh,
ruled. Yeah. You're right. I
yeah,
mean, I think to like to what I was saying earlier, like this is the element of the Randolph Carter character that kind of gives me like the Sheldon vibes in Big Bang Theory,
yeah,
where he's like, nope, not interested. Like, go sit down over there. You go do your thing, and like everyone else is like, whoa, girl, you know?
yeah, yeah. So he wasn't like super like creepy lecherous, but
No.
you could still tell like he was like feeling himself and like the dynamic or the power dynamic that he had
Hmm.
with her.
Yeah. I mean,
And
he did like keep saying to me like you got to go with these other people who like know better how to help you. Like I don't know these things. So like I feel like it was in the script a little bit to write him that way, like
yeah, it's
trying
just
to
like,
be
oh, I'm trying
noble.
to get away from this hot naked chick, but she
Yeah.
won't leave me alone. It's
Yeah, it's
like,
very much like that. Although, like,
yeah,
I do feel like a switch like flips in him. Like, he definitely avoids trying to be like this romantic, trying to feed into the romantic element of it, you know, for a
yeah.
while until she reveals that she knows the other language and then she's fluent in a different language. He's like, "Oh no, you just didn't know English." Or
Yo,
whatever. Like
that
his
part
attitude,
pissed me
it was
off.
so ridiculous,
That
right?
part pissed me off when
Yeah.
he's like, okay, so I'll read a word and then you explain it. And she's like, what? And he's like, I read, you say. Like, what
Yeah.
the is this Planet of the Apes? What the fuck are we doing?
Like
Like,
the same thing.
what
Yeah.
the hell is going on right now?
Yeah. Yeah. What
Oh my
language? That was
God.
like the made up language, right? The Cthulhu language.
Yeah, it's just Cthulhu bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, what's Khalid? Hey Khalid.
What? Which yeah, Joe.
What's Lovecraft's favorite streaming service?
Oh, Cthulhu.
Cthulhu. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
well, it's gotta be if you're coming up with this, it can't be that crazy.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good, right?
Uh,
The
yeah,
wheels
sure.
spun right there. You probably saw them.
The gears are very loud when they turn.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway, yeah. Anyway, good stuff. That was fun.
it was indeed.
It was fun.
Great pick.
Shall we move on to our final segment of the show?
Let's do it.
Final segment of the show is our What the Fandom segment, in which we share 1 to 2, or in Khalid's case, sometimes 3 things, a Khalid triple, um, that we're into at the moment that may or may not have anything to do with monsters or the movie in question. Khalid, what the fandom with you?
Thanks for asking, Joe. My what the fandom this week is going to be the new Rick and Morty spinoff, President Curtis.
Ah,
We talked about it a little bit over text. I'm enjoying it. I'm I was definitely one of those people that like when Rick and Morty was like at the height of its popularity and like just the most obnoxious, loudest fans were like talking every day about it. Like I was like loath to like even admit that I liked the show after a certain point. But the truth is it's like 9 seasons deep and like it hasn't really lost a step. It's all been pretty good. It's very much like repeating a lot of like themes and narratives, which is what a sitcom does, let alone an animated one.
yeah.
But I I like the lane that they've kind of like found for themselves, and they're still doing cool stuff with character work. And so when I found out they were doing a spin-off character for the president, voiced by one of our faves, Keith David,
Keith
I was
David.
like, hell yeah, I'll take more of what is likely the same. But I will say that they're doing a good enough job making themselves distinctly different from Rick and Morty. For one thing, the dynamic is now between a president, his senior aide, and then his like top Secret Service agent, and they give them all equal footing in a way that Rick and Morty just, if you haven't seen the show, the dynamic is always, for better or worse, like Rick is like the rightest. He's the smartest. There's a hierarchy with whoever is paired with him. And in this show, they don't do that. It's 3 people that are very human and are equally capable. And so that already just like makes it feel like a fresh thing. But then it imports a lot of like the whip smart like jokes and dialogue that Rick and Morty is famous for. And then it does a really great job of like incorporating fantasy and sci-fi lore in just like really cool inventive ways. As of this recording, they've had 3 episodes out, and I genuinely was like, there was like some solid laughs out of each and every episode, and I can tell that they're just getting started. Like this is the kind of show that I think that like it could, once they really figure out the secret sauce of what makes it special, I think it can really hit in its own way, separate of its association with Rick and Morty. So that is my one recommendation, Joe. Count them. What the fandom with you?
Thanks for asking, Khalid. You know I'm just messing with you, right?
Uh, sure, I know. Does the audience know?
No,
I
just a little bit of sausage bits for you, as Khalid likes to say.
do like to say that.
Yeah. Anyway, I got 2 for you this week. I just finished a book that I was reading that I really enjoyed. The book is called The Sound of the Dark by Daniel Church. I've actually recommended Daniel Church on the podcast before. He wrote a book called The Hollows that I really loved, which was him kind of taking on like folk horror, like kind of monsters and sort of like a very wintry, small British town. This one is kind of him actually taking on cosmic horror, apropos of what we're talking about, actually. He's telling the story in this one about a woman who's a true crime podcaster who takes on the story of this experimental artist who was trying to work on a new art installation and visits this weird abandoned Royal Air Force base in England called Warden Fell. And after visiting this place, he ends up murdering his whole family and himself and killing himself and blowing up his trailer. So like she's like, why did this happen and what's going on? So as she gets into the case more and more, she starts to find out like weird stuff about this Warden Fell location. She finds like the tapes that this guy recorded and finds like there are other things in the background of the tapes, and there starts to get kind of deep into if you're familiar with the cosmic horror concept, like kind of deep into sort of this unknowable horror that gets very very terrifying for the characters. I I really love, I've said this before, investigative horror. This falls squarely into that category. It's very fun. It combines investigative horror with like cosmic Lovecraftian style horror. And it was really fun. It's a really cool book, and it's Daniel Church's latest book that he came out with, so I'd highly recommend it. Really enjoyed that. So that's my first one. It's The Sound of the Dark. The second one I just want to recommend, I just finished this the other day, was a manga actually called Centuria. And Centuria is by Toru Kuramori, if I'm saying that properly. But I've just read the first volume so far. I got it a while ago and I hadn't gotten a chance to read it, but I just finished it. It's sort of the story of a boy who's on a slave ship, and he's never known kindness, and a pregnant woman shows him kindness, and she ends up like essentially sacrificing herself to a octopus god of the sea, and he's in charge of taking care of her baby after she is gone. And he's imbued with the strength of 100 people from the ship who were killed by this reason, and essentially is tasked with like, I've never known kindness, but I want to instill kindness into this child that I'm now taking care of. And he's dealing with sort of like a really cruel world, dealing with like sea creatures all over the place that are very intricately drawn and really cool to look at on the page. It's so far it's basically just him like meeting a couple people and kind of like learning what it means to like have connections in the world and have people that care about you. So it's kind of touching. I feel like sometimes when I've read, especially like shonen mangas, like there's like this snarky kind of like, young male hero. Definitely not that. This is taking like a very more of a serious kind of more melodramatic approach. And I kind of feel like that's been refreshing from some of the other stuff I've been reading. So I've really, really enjoyed it so far. I'm really excited to check out the second volume. So that one's called Centuria. So I'd highly recommend that.
Dude, both sound amazing. Yeah. Some good reads.
Good reads.
Yeah. Well, thank you for those amazing recommendations, Joe. And thank you, everyone at home or wherever you listen to our podcast, for listening to another episode of Frankenstein's podcast. Until next time, creep it easy. Frankenstein's podcast is hosted by Joe Praska and me, Khalid Hussein, with music from Jim Hall and original artwork from Jim Tandberg. A reminder that we do have a Patreon if you are interested and able to support our show. We are a fully independent podcast maintained as a labor of love, so anything helps. You can become a Patreon at the $1 or $3 level, or you can become a producer at the $7 level. Becoming a patron gives you access to bonus content like Frankenbits, where we discuss a range of topics often outside the realm of monsters. Thank you to our current Patreon producers, Luke Johnson, Andy Groth, Jay Cole, and Joe Michaud. And thank you to each and every one of you listening.